County Executive Molinaro and Challenger Jablonski have different viewpoints on how sales tax revenue is distributed to cities and towns.
He also takes that approach when he takes the sales tax away from the cities and towns of Dutchess County. He's essentially taking that away from them and making it harder for them to balance their budgets. So he's trying to balance his budget on the backs of the towns and cities of this county, and I think that's unfair. In terms of the shared services, I agree that shared services are important and we can find ways to be much more efficient across county government and municipal government. But the process that he has established is essentially a competitive process and it allows the county executive to make the decision on how to use that money. If that money were left with the towns and villages, they would be able to make the appropriate decisions to use those funds to sustain their own services. As a result of him taking the sales tax away from the city of Poughkeepsie, we have parking meters, we have sanitation fees, and I know every town and village has struggled with that. So he complains about the mandates from the state. At the same time, he's imposing, quote unquote, a mandate on the local towns and villages. You can't have it both ways.
Sales tax revenue is not municipal money, and it's not the county's money. It's your money. Every dollar that we collect in taxation comes from your pocket, and I think, and I do know that Diane knows this, in 2005, the agreement that allowed the county to distribute any sales tax money to municipalities lapsed. It ceased to exist. And absent a contract between the city of Poughkeepsie, City of Beacon, and Dutchess County, the city stood to lose 50% of its sales tax revenue. That's state law. So we confronted that challenge aggressively. We negotiated an agreement that ultimately doesn't, in fact, take away beyond the $4 billion base that we established 3 years ago. Every municipality in Dutchess County now sees sales tax growth through a much more fair distribution. But I would also mention to you that I enjoy our partnership with the City of Poughkeepsie, but its financial crisis began long before I became county executive. And we have offered and will continue to offer Poughkeepsie, Beacon, and every municipality from throughout Dutchess County partnerships to drive down costs. In fact, we took back election costs to drive down municipal costs. We offered access to the county's workers' compensation program in order to drive down costs. The goal isn't necessarily who's paying the bill or whose logo's on the side of the truck. The goal is to drive down the total cost of government. I stand by our decision because we want to pressure municipalities and government at every layer to produce for you. Every dollar we take in must be accountable to you. We must be able to prove that it's being effectively used, and every layer of government must be held to that standard.